Now let us talk about enumerations in C++, a very important topic. So enumeration is what? It is a simple user-defined type which is used to specify certain set of values which are known as enumerators. For example, in this enum class, I'll show you and I'll tell you what this class means inside it, because this C users or C implementers, they might be astonished why this class is in between enum and month. But this class has a special role, and you can also put, apart from class, various other things like structures here. So in a month means you are starting, because you are very good, or human beings are very good with names. They are not very good with the numbers. So it's better that you know the variables or the numbers by name. January, you know, but one, maybe somebody may ask you sometime, okay, which number is supposed to be August. So maybe you have to calculate from January to August. It may happen. So once you declare enumerator, which is called month, then you can assign, or you can first make a variable and assign a variable or value to it. But when you assign 7 to m, this will not be possible. Why? Because you cannot assign integer to a month. Okay, you cannot assign, because this is going inside very well, but for outside world this is name only. But there is another way. If you want to assign this m, or say this feb, to integer, this is also not possible, because feb is actually a type of string. So we cannot get the numeric value of a month, but you can convert the value, convert integer to month, like this. These were, or this example was not a plain enumeration. This is a plain enumeration. This is a simple list of constant, and enumeration you have red in green. So a plain enum doesn't define a scope, but here it defines a scope that this month is for this class only. It is inside that scope. If you place struct here, it will say that okay, this particular enumeration is for this scope, means it will lie, or it is related to the structure in class. But here it is not. If you assign red to A, this is going to work. Why? Because red is available here. Now type with a list of name constant. See, you can just write enum color and red going blue, and you can also use your comments inside in the same manner. This way you can assign January to m1, this month, no problem. You can assign red to m2, not possible, because you don't have this red in the month. You have red in the color. And also there is one more trouble. If you want to assign some say 7 or 8 to m3 month, this is not going to work, as we just saw. And this is okay. And enumerator is converted to its value, say I equal to 0 or something. This will not be a problem. Let us revisit to that class or class enumeration. These are the types with a list of type name constants. So we have color, month, and traffic light, green, yellow, okay. These are scoped enumerators. So if you want to assign Jan to M1, this is not going to work, because Jan is now under a scope. So you have to specify that this is the scope. Month, double colon Jan, this is fine. This will not be a problem. And if you try to assign red to this, red is not a month, so it is not going to work. You cannot assign 7 to M3. Why? Because this M3 which you have made, say some month M3 variable you have made, you want to assign 7, this is not going to work, because 7 is not a month. And you don't have that month right now. This is only 0, 1, 2. And if you want to assign red, you can use this color double colon, because this is in the class scope. and this will be error. Why red is not? Why this will be error? Because you have this red. Okay, no problem with this red here. But how can you assign this traffic light to a color? These are two different things. This will also be an error because you have just made M1, but I, an enumerator, is not, or you cannot convert it into an integer. Enumeration by values, by default it starts with a 0. The next enumerator will be plus 1, that is 0, 1, 2, and likewise. And enumerator, like horse, pig, and chicken, it will be 0, 1, 2. You can control the numbering, you can start with n, you can 1 or 2 or 5, any ways. And you can also do like this, give your specified value to it, like 1 to good and 8 to end of file. You can also add them, like fade plus EOF is what? 2 plus A, that is 10. So in flags, you can also do that. But you cannot do this flags into some stream state because you can't assign an integer to a stream state. They are two different entities. But you can do like this because you can convert this flag to stream state. Then you can easily assign it because this is explicit conversion. But be careful. This may create problem in future, and you will always get warning that some type conversion may loss of precision. All those things will come. Okay, let us have a class because we have already seen these kind of problems and programs in our previous sessions. So we'll have a class called date, and this date uses enum class month. So this is the month it is using. This is the month it is using, and we have already shown you what the month is. This month is okay. Now this is using it. Now if I want to assign, or if you are making a class variable or object of date, that is my birthday, and you are trying to use this constructor, then 50, 30, month, double colon, December, this is not going to work. Why? This is the month, and you are providing some 30 value because the second argument is not a month. So there will be an error. But here it is not. It is not going to give any problem as such. This is fine. This is also fine. But what about this? You can call December through month double colon December. As I just suggested you that if you want to call this January, don't call like this. Use this month double colon. Now let us have some light on this const in this particular case. We have a class called date, and you have an integer day function which returns a day, but it is a constant. So constant number you cannot modify. While add day is a function which is just adding some, you can modify a non-constant number. So when you're making a variable d, 2000 month, and some January and 20, and you have a constant date cd, this is also okay. But when you call a function, no problem, call anytime. Call a function, no problem. Add day will not be a problem. But once you try to change the value, this is going to give you an error. Okay, you cannot change it. So this is how we fix the value you don't want to change. And again, in this, let us have a continuation in this. We are making one more object, and we are having const date d2, which is again a constant. So this will be an error. Why? Because you cannot assign anything to d2. D2 cannot change. You cannot change d2 because adding 1 means you want to add something. This is an error. But d2, once this constant value can be assigned to anybody, and this can be added because d is not a constant, you can easily add 1 or change. And as far as this is concerned, d2.f call f function, which is the function which maybe should work if and only if f doesn't modify d2. Okay. And constant member functions, we can distinguish between functions that can modify objects and those which cannot. We have just seen an example. We have a class, some public. This is a function which is constant, so you can get a copy of the day, but you cannot change it. In this particular grade, you can move the days and days forward. You can exactly change it. So once you make this constant, or you can have a class variable called dx, and you want dx day to be assigned to d, no problem. But once you want to change it, sorry sir, it will be giving you a problem. So what makes a good interface in a class? Try minimal means a good interface is as minimum, as complete, as type safe, as constant correct. In classes, there are various essential operations, like you have a default constructor, it defaults to nothing. No default if any other constructor is declared. Please understand, if you have any other constructor, default constructor is not going to be called. And you have a copy constructor, it defaults to copy the member. If the copy assignment, it defaults to copy the member. And destructor, it defaults to nothing. You have to really put your code in here to make this destructor work. For example, date d, this is no default constructor. If you want to assign this, no problem with that. You can assign one copy of the element to the other copy of the element, or rather you can make a copy of the element. This is also possible, copy the elements. Now we have interfaces and helper functions. You can keep a class interface that is a set of public functions minimal by simplify how you are going to do it and what you can achieve. You simplify understanding and debugging and maintenance. And when we keep the class interface simple and minimal, and we need some extra functions which can help it outside the class, which is non-member function like equality, non-equality, next weekday, next Sunday, like this. So let us see one or more helper functions like date, next day. You can pass directly your object in here, and you can do stuff with them. And in the same way, like this, you can also have this double equal to. You are actually overloading it, which we are going to cover later. So this is operator overloading. So you can define almost all C++ operator for a class or enumeration operands, all. But that's often called overloading because in this month we have seen in a month class month enumerator, and you can do what? You can just have this month, and you can have operator plus plus with the object of month passed. This will prefix increment operator, right? This will prefix your increment operator. You can also wrap around this month, and you can just give that, okay, when I do plus plus, I want object to be plus plus, so object or the class which you have made, all the stuff inside the class is incremented. So actually you are not increasing value, you are increasing an object by 1. So you can directly call like this, plus plus m, you can make a variable, and plus plus m, plus plus m. This is quite a typical example, but the thrust I already told you. So you can define only existing operator like this. All of these operators you can define. You can define operators only with their conventional number of operands. That is, no URI like less than or equal to, and no binary like not. So an overloaded operator must have at least one user-defined types as operator like this. You can't overload bit, sorry, plus you cannot overload. Do not try to overload plus. And vector operator, okay. Operator plus vector, this is possible. Built-in plus you cannot. But there is a piece of advice: overload operator only with their conventional meaning, and plus should be addition, multiplication should be multiplication, plus should not be multiplication. And don't overload unless you really have to, because overloading is somewhat typical. So hope you got the idea about enumeration and this overloading, glimpse of overloading. Thank you so much. Take care.